Hi, this is Mark Wade from CenterCityCondos.com at Prudential Fox and Roach. In this podcast, I'd like to talk about pricing policies for new condominium developments here in Center City. Okay, there are a couple trains of thoughts. Number one, let's look at fixed pricing policies, and that's was evidenced at Locust Point and is now evident at Hawthorne Loft, 712 South 12th Street. This is where the seller comes in, puts some fairly good prices, some fairly aggressive prices on the units, and does not negotiate. That is kind of it has its pluses and minuses in the eyes of the buying community. I think personally it's a huge plus because, well, first of all, Locust Point was one of the most successful sellouts we've had in Center City. That's undisputable. But what it does is it assures everyone in the building that someone is not going to, be able to negotiate the seller down. You come in at full price, and the buyer behind you is not going to be able to negotiate the seller down at all. The seller holds out for full price. You want to come in $100 under asking? The answer is no. It's full price. It is what it is. Now, a lot of buyers have in their brain that even if a condo is priced at, $1.42, they have to negotiate, which, is understandable. I mean, everybody wants to negotiate. That's what they've been told all their life, is when you buy something, like a condo or a house, you negotiate. So the fixed pricing model is tough for some buyers to swallow, and I certainly understand that. But I think what you need to do is go back, know your market, study your market, and know that those prices are indeed that the prices are good. And if indeed they are, then perhaps you need to not look a gift horse in the mouth, if I could be so bold. But fixed pricing is an interesting concept that I am a fan of because, there's no negotiating. It is what it is. You take it or leave it. And if you're able to kind of swallow your pride a little bit there, then maybe you end up getting a condo that has a relatively good price on it. It's not inflated, generally speaking. It's because God knows, we all know that there are condos out there that are grossly overpriced. That's no big secret. I mean, if you don't know that, then spend 10 minutes with me and you'll learn real quick. So Hawthorne Lofts, 712 South 12th Street, and Locust Point out at 25th and Locust both had those fixed pricing models, and I'm going to suggest that both have worked out pretty well so far as keeping a firm line on what the prices are. Now, a lot of times what's interesting is new construction buildings, when they're being built, as sales go up, a lot of times, depending on the strength or weakness of the market, sometimes prices do go up. The developer says, okay, every unit in the building is $1 million. As sales occur in the building and the market continues to get stronger, those prices go up. We see it all the time. And it's true also in a softening market that sometimes, the developer will drop prices, or in the case of the Murano and the Phoenix, where you've got 270, God knows how many thousands of units in the building, that the seller needs the help of an auction to really, clear out a lot of inventory in one fell swoop. We generally don't see that on our smaller buildings in town, but some of your bigger buildings where there can be a lot of, let's look at the Phoenix. I mean, if there are, 300 units there maybe, and that's not right, but it's somewhere around there, 272, something like that. When you've got a huge building that you've got to sell out and you're in a softened market, then the seller may come along and have an auction which resets prices in the building. But again, on your 50-unit buildings, your 20-unit buildings, your 4-unit buildings, no, that's very, very rare. But a fixed pricing model I am a fan of. I think it does give the buyers a hint of security, knowing that the sellers, if the seller didn't negotiate for you, he's not going to negotiate for the buyer behind you. And you kind of have to beat a seller over the head to get him to realize from day one that this is the pricing structure. It's going to be this way, and that's the way it is. So I am a big fan of that because I think it kind of puts everyone on an equal footing. Now, at Locust Point, what they eventually did do, the only adjustment in prices they did there is they're very weak sell. They had like one or two units there that, like the 04 units or the 012 units or whatever it was, that were very weak selling. So the seller did reduce the prices on all 04 models or all 1-2 models or all bag of donuts models, whatever it was. But then again, once he dropped those prices, he held firm on those prices. So fixed pricing is a concept that I'm a huge fan of, and I think it, although buyers kind of have to get over that the fact that they can't negotiate, once buyers learn that the properties are priced well to begin with, I don't think it's that big of an issue. But it does create stability in the building as far as no one else being able to get a lower price for the same unit that you bought, or no one else can really, let me take that back. No one else can negotiate. If you're buying unit 444, for $100,000, you know that 344, the unit right below it is going to sell for the same price. No negotiating there. So anyway, I'm a big fan of that model. This is Mark Wade. Questions, comments, or concerns about fixed pricing models? Pick up the telephone, push the buttons. 215-521-1523. Thank you.